Hey everybody, it's the Funky Professor, and I'm going to be showing you the Funkcraft Survival Town. Now, the idea behind this is that the town progresses with you as you move through survival mode. So as you kill new monsters, kill new bad guys, and get new materials, you're going to be building new buildings to take advantage of those materials and expanding your town. Now, I'm going to be showing you just some of the buildings that I've got here, and I'm going to be making an individual video for each one of the buildings, as well as making videos for new buildings that I create down the road. Now, all of the buildings in Funky Town are 5 wide, they're 7 deep, and they're 4 tall. So they're fairly compact, they're pretty resource friendly, but they've got a lot of functionality in a pretty small area. Now, this building in front of me just so happens to be the first building that you're going to make in the town, and it's also the central point of the town that you're going to kind of build around. The reason for that is because this is going to have your bed inside of it, so this is going to be your spawn point. This is also going to have some chests in here for your storage, and there's also 8 furnaces in here, as well as a crafting bench. So it's really everything that you need early on in survival Minecraft to get yourself going. Now, the next building I would recommend making is going to be this one over here, and this is a mine shaft. So the idea behind this is you just dig a staircase that goes straight down, and you go down as far as you want until you start digging around and getting yourself some materials to continue expanding the town. Now, in here, I like to keep a chest up above, and you've got maybe some pickaxes or some other materials that you can save in there. Now, the next house, and another house that you can build fairly early on, it's pretty cheap, is just another storage house. Now, this here, I believe it has 23 chests altogether, or 11.5 double chests, so it's a ton of storage, and, if you build 1 or 2 of these, it's probably going to be all the storage that you're going to need. Now, over here, this is kind of the start of the food section. Now, we've got quite a few houses that are dedicated to food production, and this one is just your regular crops. So you've got wheat, carrots, and potatoes, and in here you've got, it's 3x4, so you've got 12 plots that you can put down. Now, what I like to do with these is stack them side by side or even back to back, and then you break out the walls that are in between them, and so it gives you a large area to plant crops with, and it kind of breaks up the town, and it looks cool with the bigger buildings as well. Now, this here, this is sugar cane and melon, as well as pumpkins, and it's the same deal. You can put them side by side or back to back to expand them, and I'll elaborate more on that in the single videos that I make about these particular buildings. Now, this over here, this is the chicken farm. Now, you don't necessarily have to have the hoppers in the floor. That might be a little expensive on the iron, depending on where you're at in the survival mode. But with the hoppers, it lets you collect the eggs, and so the eggs will go in there. But if not, that's okay. You can always just collect them yourself, and then also, this will, of course, collect the chicken when you kill the chickens in there. Now, over here, we've got some sheep, so I just left some grass in there for them to feed on, but there's some sheep in here so that you can kill them, and again, you could have them on top of hoppers if you really wanted to, and you could also break out the top here, maybe put in a ladder on the side so that you can easily get in and out. I may mess around with that in a different video. And over here, we have, this is a cow pen. And here I do have the hoppers in the floor, just again a little more of an advanced building. Depending on where you're at in the survival mode will determine if you have enough iron for that or not. But this way, you can kill the cows and they'll go directly into this chest right here. And then again, you could put, just a regular block with a ladder and break this out right here so you can easily get in and out of the pen. Now, over here, this is the horse building. So you see I took off the top, that way you can safely get on the horse without getting yourself hurt. And then back there, there's just a post that we can tie the horse to, and then just some fence gates in the front that we can get out of, and then we keep some leads right there to tie the horse with. Okay, so that does it for the early game buildings. Now, the mid-game buildings, this is when you've got some iron, maybe a little bit of diamonds, and you're starting to go to the nether, starting to farm those mats. And the first building in the sort of mid-range is going to be your nether portal. So here we've got an iron trapdoor, so that if any zombie pigmen spawn, we can keep them inside and even kill them through these gaps here. And then if we open the lever, you see we can get inside to our nether portal so that we can go through into the nether and farm any mats that we need. Now over here we have sort of an advanced storage and crafting area. So we've got the anvils and brewing stands, as well as some furnaces and the crafting bench down below. And then we've also got 6 double chests worth of storage, so we've got some extra storage in here as well. This is kind of all the extra crafting stuff that we didn't have in our original house over here. So now if you can actually make it through with just the storage in your starting house right here, then a lot of times you can skip the need for this house right here if you build this one. Of course, you can build this one if you just want some extra storage. If you've been, doing a ton of mining or a ton of farming, you can always build those up as well. So moving right along, this is our enchanting house. Now this is a pretty simple setup. We've just got our bookcases around our enchanting table here, and up top I like to keep books up here, and this just shows, you see we're getting a level 30 enchants from this setup. Now if we get some torches, we can actually modify this to get any level of enchant that we want. You see we're at 28 there, put it right there, we can get it down to 26, and I've actually got a video on how to do this, and I'll put that in the description below. But this is just sort of a simple enchanting setup that we can use for our town. Let me just put those books back. And over here, this is the last of the mid-range buildings that I've gotten here, and this is our alchemy setup. So the way that this works is we've got the hopper with some water bottles set up here, so that way it's automatically going into our brewing stand, and then we've got a hopper up top, and you can put any order of materials that you want in here, and it'll make the potion for you. So you can drop it in there, walk away, and it'll make whatever potion that you want. Now, I've also got the water source down below, so I can grab some glass bottles, and if I go below this half slab, you see I can make some water bottles of my own, and then I've got the nether warts growing in the sides here. So it's kind of everything that you're going to need to start making some potions. So that about does it for the mid-range buildings. Over here we've got our higher end buildings, and these are going to be, once you're really well established, once you've got quite a bit of materials and you're ready to move on to the end game. So the first high-end building to show off here is going to be the armory. Now this is starting to get into a little bit of automation and of course some higher end mats. Basically what this is we've got some food in here, we've got some torches and buckets, everything we're going to need for an adventure. And then if I jump into here, bam, you'll see that I got a diamond sword, and it also equipped me in full armor. So again, just like living up to the name, this is the armory. It's going to have everything I need to go adventuring. Now this over here, this is really stepping it up on the automation and the redstone. In here I have my auto furnace design, and in here I have my auto charcoal design. So I've already made videos on these before. I'm not going to go too in depth on how these work, but I think they look pretty cool in these shells. So I'll show them off a little bit. So in here, this is the auto furnace design. You can turn it on and off with this lever over here. And what's cool is you put in items up top here, so you don't even have to go into the building. So I'll just take a piece of cobblestone and put that in there. Now I'm sure you heard the note block there, and we've also got the redstone indicator down below. That lets us know that the furnace is starting. Now here in a second, bam, you see it just went off there. That lets us know that the cooking is complete, and so I can look in here and you can see that we've got some stone now. So that's just a cool design, a cool addition to your town. Let you cook up a bunch of stuff and then go around the town, do some other stuff, and then it'll let you know when it's finished. Now over here we have the charcoal design. So if I take a tree and same kind of deal, I just put the wood in the top chest here, and then it's going to go into the machine and it's going to start cooking up this piece of charcoal, and then that charcoal is going to go into this chest right here. So in just a second, bam, you see that we have another piece of charcoal. So both of these designs, they're pretty compact, so they fit into the survival town setup pretty well. Now the last building that I'm going to show you here, I think this is one of my favorites. I think this came out really cool, and I think if you had a bunch of these in a town, it would look super awesome. But this is a merchant shack. So on the sign here, it's got everything that the villager inside is going to sell. So we've got a cool little setup. You know, got a painting and some brewing stands in the back, and you know, using the iron trap door to keep them in here, and looks like a little, you know, just like a little shop. And then I can talk to him, and you see that he's got the Unbreaking 3 and the Smite 2 and the Fortune 1 diamond axe, and then that is what it says on the sign out here, you know, 9 emeralds for an iron sword, Unbreaking 3. So I think if you had a bunch of these merchant shacks in a town, it would look really cool if you had, you know, a bunch of villagers like that. So that just about does it for all the buildings, at least all the ones that I've got so far. I'm going to be designing a bunch more of these, seeing if I can cram some more of my funky machines into these buildings. And again, I'm going to be making individual videos for each one of these buildings as well. And to top it all off, I think I'm going to do a let's play, a survival let's play just on my own with the you know, Funkcraft Survival Town method to really show it off and showcase it in action. So I hope you guys like it. Be sure to subscribe to the channel to you know, stick around and stay tuned for all that other stuff. Like the video if you liked it. Be sure to hit us up on Facebook and Twitter as well. And until I see you guys next time, keep it funky. Thank you.